Hey guys, it's Gundam Boy, and today we're gonna be looking at the stalwart. Ask no more, little diver. Your video has finally come. And we're finally going to be taking a look at the stalwart, one of the strangest support weapons out of them all, because it's one of the few that have light armor pen. And I'm sure you guys run across this all the time in the field and go, ooh, stalwart. But there is a valid reason for why it's here. Oh, you thought I actually had a reason? Oh, I wasn't ready. I will argue in favor of this gun staying as a support weapon just because it's like a starter weapon. Doesn't change the fact that it makes me mad that it has a place on this wall, but if it's a support weapon, then Arrowhead claims it's a support weapon, I guess. And I guess in the context of it being like level 5, you probably don't have access to too much weapons or too many missions to begin with, unless you're diving with strangers. Then the stalwart makes sense. It also has the same damage as Liberator Penetrator, but the most times you see people using this is either when they're using the Torture or the Eruptor. Come on, Arrowhead, give us primary. And I'm not really gonna go into depth about how to use a light pen gun, because I think we've all played this game long enough to know where the weak points are, aka the giant squishy parts or their head. I wonder what the statistics are of people using the stalwart right now. It would be very interesting to look at. Here, looking at the stalwart, we can see it has 3 different firing modes, a flashlight, and it tracks pretty evenly right now, but I would keep in mind that the sights are misaligned, so don't list that truly, because this is how it sprays. But we're gonna move on to the automaton forces. And for a starter weapon, it does alright against the automatons. I mean, troopers are practically shredded cheese if they're in large groups, because this machine gun can fucking fire, man. And its easy handling makes it no problem when you're going up against large groups. But against things like Scout Striders, it doesn't matter how much bullets you fire at their front side, they're too armored, so you have to go around the back. Against Berserkers, this is my favorite thing to use, so just rip them apart in an instant, because the high speed of fire rate you can set this guy to just turns them into cheese, especially if you aim for their face. And against the Devastators, it is an easy thing to just deal a shit ton of damage when you're aiming for their weak points, but if you have a poor aim like me and you're firing it has full speed, you're probably going to hit them in that armored point. But otherwise, this gun is pretty good at close quarters when it comes to getting in their face. Going up against the lower chaff of all the bots, this gun is gonna do fine. Just don't be surprised if you have to run around some Scout Striders to do some damage. Against the Illuminate, this gun fares a lot better, because with all the hordes of these voteless that come after you, you can just set this thing to full auto and start ripping into it. I call this thing the handicapper, because when you get down, you can just give everybody a wheelchair for free. And against the elevated ones, this thing does surprisingly good, even at the lower RPMs. You don't even have to rip it as hard. The amount of bullets that come out of this thing will just shred off their armor and then shred into their body. This has nothing to do with the stalwart, I just thought it was really funny when I was recording because now I'm dancing, walking, rearranging furniture. And against the Overseers, this thing does some fucking damage against them. I took on 3 of them by accident, and this gun just rips ass. Once you focus a target, it doesn't even matter if they put their shield up. This is the first gun I've seen to break an Overseer shield just from the fury amount of fire you can just launch. Oh, it's amazing. And against the Illuminate, yeah, does alright. I mean, still, once you climb up the higher difficulties and when they unleash the inevitable full force of the Illuminate forces on Super Earth, we might struggle. And against the bugs, it does great, like seriously. Against a lot of the forces that you're going to be going up against, since there's so much of these like smaller forces, the Stalwart actually does a surprising job at just crowd controlling them. Even the armored guys, especially because if you aim a little closer to their mouth or their back and they expose it, this thing will chain into them. And against things like the Warriors, you can just assume that they're not going to be there after a couple of shots because this gun fires so fast that the probably only thing that's going to be left behind is a speck of brains. And against the bugs, this thing just does numbers because its fast mobility means you can just really keep up the combat. Like, no matter how many times you get smacked, keep stimming and keep spraying this gun and you'll win in the end. It's unfortunate because it does alright on the bug front, but once you start climbing into higher difficulties, you might not want to bring it anymore because there'll be just so much other weapons you'll have by then. Arrowhead, please, if you're watching this, it's kind of embarrassing, please don't watch the rest of my channel, but Arrowhead, if you're watching this, please turn the Stalwart into a primary. We need it. If I can have this laser chain gun and this bomb pocket grenade, give us Stalwart. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. If you guys like what I made today, like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You guys have a great day. And for the person who sent me $75, I hope you're ready.